Let's talk about apps, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Hello. Welcome to our channel. This is
Joshua.
and I am Kat. Glad to have you here at J&K Go Global. One thing we want to say before we get started is please consider subscribing, liking, sharing to friends and family, commenting, all of that good stuff. We really appreciate every single comment, every single subscription. We really do appreciate it. So today we're talking about what?
Apps.
Apps.
Now, this is our second take. I did a lot of singing in the first take.
Oh, please.
But it turned
It's
out
okay.
that we left our fan on and it made the camera shake.
You don't
and
need
it probably
to.
made a noise.
You don't need to.
Maybe we'll post that as a blooper reel because it was pretty good. My singing, I'm pretty talented.
Why Josh is starting the apps because he's the one that facilitates like the groceries and food and all of that. So he actually does them more than I do. So I did them for a short amount of time. So that's why Josh is going to explain it. So babe, what do you want to start with? Grab?
Yeah, Grab, because it's all throughout Southeast Asia. It's the huge platform, but it turns out that it's the one that we use day in, day out.
Mm-hmm.
So I use it in Vietnam for rides and food delivery. So it's kind of like Uber in that respect. If you're in the US or I think Canada and maybe even UK, you probably know Uber, and that covers lots of different like sort of delivery related tasks, like getting a ride somewhere, getting food delivered, getting groceries delivered, things like that. So Grab here in Southeast Asia, including Cambodia, where we are now, is popular. And we've tried the other apps. Like we had Food Panda. That's another popular food delivery only app. And we used that for a little while, but there were some issues with our credit card company didn't want to let us use that app anymore because I guess there's been problems with scams.
So that happens here,
yeah. So we switched over to Grab, and Grab's been working for us pretty well in Cambodia. We have a membership, whatever they call it. It's like our monthly subscription, I think is what they call it, and it's $1 US per month. And every once in a while, it updates us and shows us how much we saved, and we've saved like an absolute ton of money because we use it all the time. So like every day with free delivery and discounts, and you earn things called Grab coins that you can use for your next purchase. Through all that, like every day we're saving like a few dollars. So $1 a month, and every day we save like, I'm just going to guess like at least $2 or $3. So you save 100 a month. Maybe.
Kind of explain like how they like make it all happen as far as like the groceries and if there's different stores they're affiliated with.
Yeah, well, there's different choices on the main menu. So you can choose marts, and then it shows you the list of all the stores. And it'll show you like the closer ones that have free shipping, free delivery, I guess you would call it. And then you just kind of experiment. You see which stores have the products that you want. So like now I know, I've been using it for a while, so I know if I want like a certain dessert, I have to order from a certain store, and certain beer from a different store, and things like that. Some stores have better produce, so you sort of learn. But I have a really good like kind of flow now, so that I'm never paying for delivery. I think the only time we pay for delivery is during like a really crazy busy like holiday period. So like for the Khmer New Year's, even so, we hardly paid. I think it got more to where it just was taking a long time for the riders to get here. And we still were rarely paying.
And when I say Josh has it dialed in, like the other day he showed me the phone. It might have been yesterday, and like we had 3 different deliveries coming, and they were all coming within like 3 minutes of each other.
Yeah, because we're in I guess it's sort of a high-rise apartment building, so we're like way up here. So I try to time it so that everything arrives at the same time. And this time it worked out perfectly yesterday, where I had to order from 2 different grocery stores, and from a restaurant for our lunch, and like all the drivers converged at the same time. It was pretty interesting. So when I went downstairs to get everything, they were all just lined up on the shelf perfectly. So that was nice. So Food Panda, but we switched to Grab, and now we're pretty much using Grab only. And it's nice because if you go to other countries in Southeast Asia, you can use it like in Vietnam, Malaysia, and other countries as well.
And you communicate. I don't know if you're going to talk about it. Communication with them and how it translates.
Yeah, like I learned that, there's a language barrier, but there's a translating function within the messaging on Grab. So I do try to like let the riders know, like once I noticed some mistakes, like they would bring it to the building next to ours instead of our building, or they would pull up and just wait for me. And we have a shelf in our building where they can just drop it off. So I've learned to be proactive and then message the rider. They call them riders instead of drivers because they're riding motorbikes. So I just tell them kind of the whole lowdown. I have pictures of our building in the app. I tell them the name of our building and where to leave the items, and it works a lot more smoothly. But I don't know how many other apps we're going to have time to talk about today because we try to keep our videos kind of bite-sized. But I could just touch on a few other ones and we could talk about them more later. But the other popular apps are, well, first of all, a lot of people use an ABA banking app. And I think ABA is a Canadian bank, but it's very popular in Cambodia. So like almost everywhere you go, including even street vendors, they have little QR codes, and then you can scan the code and it withdraws the money directly out of your account.
And they show them that it's paid. Like you do it and they show them that it's paid.
Yeah. So we pay our rent that way too. So it's like really easy, really user friendly. And I'm trying to think what other apps that I use all the time. There's one called Nom24. That was a food delivery service, but Grab bought them. So Grab is definitely growing, kind of gobbling up all the other companies. But it's still a very good company. I still recommend it. And
because we have tried other ones like Pass App and stuff. But
Pass App's a good one to bring up. A lot of locals like to use Pass App for rides. It's rides only. So there was one time where Grab just couldn't get us to a place we were trying to go to, and Pass App was able to get us there. So they're a little bit more. It was kind of an impressive service. Like they just seemed a little bit like younger and hipper, and they helped us out and they got us where we were going.
Yeah, and I think one of the main reasons that we would use Grab versus Pass App is that Grab you can use credit cards. Pass App it's ABA, so it's basically cash. When you use it, right? Right?
Yeah, it is. But now it turns out that we were using an American Express card on Grab, and we were getting charged like transaction fees. So we got So I just switched back to using ABA anyway on Grab. I don't use a credit card on Grab anyway. So
if you do things smartly and you order smartly, you still pay. The way that Josh has it dialed in, we probably pay a good, like, very small amount in comparison to like if you're just like ordering willy-nilly and you're just like end up spending more, Yeah.
We have it so dialed in now where
and he has
I talked about today where we did dinner's on its way actually right now. And we had an amazing lunch, and we're going to have an amazing dinner. And the whole thing all in with I'm not using Grab coins or any special discounts today. And I think the whole thing is just a little bit under $15. That's total for lunch for two and dinner for two delivered all in under 15. There's no tipping here. There's not a tipping culture. You can if somebody does something special, like, occasionally, like there was a cute kid in our tuk-tuk up in Siem Reap. So I gave the kid I gave him 5,000, which sounds like a lot, but it's like $1.25. It's like $1.25, but it actually goes a long way in Cambodia. So he was pretty happy about that. So like special things like that, we'll give a little bit. but it's not expected. And you don't want to do it too much because you don't want to turn Cambodia into like the US where everywhere you go, they're turning that screen around and expecting you to tip when you're getting like a big gulp at 7-Eleven and they want to tip and it's like you filled up your own cup. So
yeah. It's definitely, I think that there's a lot of countries where just tipping, you just don't tip, they're kind of insulted if you tip, but I don't think that they are here. It's just not a tipping culture, the only time that I think that it was mentioned was when we used Pass app and we had the driver that's going to be waiting for us for a little bit. So the young man that was working in their little like kiosky thing was like, you might want to like tip him $1 or $2 because he's going to be waiting for you. But that's the only time we've
And honestly, that's not even a tip. I mean, they called it a tip, but that's more paying for the waiting time.
Exactly.
He's sitting there waiting for us.
Exactly.
And they didn't have anything in the app where they can compensate for that. So we just paid him for his waiting time. But yeah, they called it a tip, but it wasn't even really a tip. So
well, just one thing that I wanted to mention about the apps, because we, with the drivers like communicating a lot, we've seen people that order things on the app and the driver is waiting for them to just take their time and walk down to grab whatever they ordered.
Yeah, we don't do
and
that.
that's people behaving badly. And we see that all the time. And so
I guess they call it grab because they're going to grab the food. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. But, Josh doesn't do that. But we've seen so many times people just like, I don't know.
Yeah, they kind of, unfortunately, like a lot of expats use the apps and don't treat the riders very well.
There's mosey on down.
I'm always like, I'm not trying to hype myself up, but I'm very friendly with the riders because I'm very appreciative that they brought our food. I just don't understand the other mentality, which is to treat them like dirt.
Because they're waiting and they want to go to their next call, or their next delivery. And I just think it's, just being respectful. So if you are visiting and you are using those apps, just be aware of it and just be courteous about it because, they're earning their living by doing this. So, and they don't make a ton. So you just definitely want to like be respectful. Did you want to say anything else?
Yeah. And that's more when they're picking you up because we have them drop off the items on the shelf. So they just pull up, drop it off and take off. But if they're picking us up in a tuk-tuk or something, we try to be out there when they pull up. So,
but yeah, I'm talking about when we see people, they're having food delivered and they're like we've come and gone and the people are still waiting for them to come down and get their food. I might be that, well, I don't know. One of the places they had shelves. So maybe they just don't communicate the way that you do, like leave it there for sure and all of that. So I think that maybe if that's a possibility to just communicate clearly so they don't have to wait around. But yeah, so was there anything else? We're going to talk about other apps at another time, but this is getting longer. But we just want to say thank you so much. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. We're trying to do these videos more on the regular. And like we've said before, comment if there's something that you're curious about, or if you want more information about, all of that good stuff. And then please subscribe.
And if you're curious, you've probably been wondering the whole time what I was singing about in the first one. And it's, let's talk about apps, baby. Let's talk about you and me. And then it went on and on. So that's what you missed.
I knew we weren't going to get through this video with him.
Let's talk about all the good apps.
Okay, we're going to go. It's dinner time.
See, let's talk about apps.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about apps.
He thinks he's adorable, but he's been a grouper. I don't know.
I'm not adorable.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Akon.
I guess Arkon. I'm mad though.
He's angry. Okay, guys.